Okay, what's up? This is VOD review for Kobold. They were playing a set against Salty Goku. Who I assume is playing Akatsuki. But let's get into it and see. As always, we've got Uni in the back. If we need it, if we need to go. I've now also realized that my stick is not in front of me if we need to take anything to the lab. So I guess we'll just look at it. I don't know how long this set is. I don't know how much of this set we're going to look at, but... Phone on Seth. Okay, so starting off, if you are ever looking for defense of Phone on against Seth, there is a lot of footage. Play theater. From ST, which is very applicable. This is not what it is. .app, of course it is. So if you go to Replay Theater, we go to Under Night In Birth, you can look at Seth versus Phone On. I guess you'd have to go back a bit, but actually here, like Bashfest, yeah, if you look at like Clem and Wingod Dude, there's a lot of footage from Vancouver of those two playing, and then like Ohito and Ripu play off and on. But if you're looking for stuff on defense, you're not going to find a lot of footage of this matchup in clear, mostly because not a lot of people play Phone On, as I'm sure you're aware. But everything, all of the pressure from ST works the same, except now it's a little bit easier. Again, like general things. Oh, Wallstein, you gotta chill out, buddy. We'll put this on a menu so that it's not making noise. What was I gonna say? Yeah, the anti-Seth Blink OS 6236 A, I think is Phone On's here, because you either get a pillar or you get a pillar on this side, or you get 214A on this side. It's something like that. There's that idea where if you have a DP or a 236 and a 214 that works on this side, then you're chilling. Big thing in neutral as well is that, okay, so already I think this is a bit of a mistake to take proactive round start as Seth against Phone On. Rightly so, you punish this, so good job. I think generally you're going to see Seth play a lot more for movement, because Orb really helps in the neutral against Phone On. Phone On, especially with ICJC, can do a pretty good job against Seth. I'm surprised that he didn't jump when he saw that CS. Okay, so that was an OS timing that you just saw. Okay, this is kind of awkward, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. That was just kind of a weird scramble. And we'll go to the next round start. So you have meter and he does not, which means that you have literally no reason to not just smash B-Pillar in the spot. Yeah, B-Pillar would have smoked that. And B-Pillar as Phone On is just an extremely good option. Okay, so interesting. Salty is doing a lot of like spaced 2C. Normally, this is a pretty easy point to shield. Any move that is more than one hit is generally a pretty easy point to shield and win some grid, which is why sets will mix doing 2C no cancel, which is -1, versus 2C rebeat, which is also -1, but then will make your green shield with. So you're not showing the green shield, mostly because you're winning grid anyways, so that's good. So this spot here is Phone On. You're pretty happy to block and try to take cycle where you can. There's not actually a lot of threat here. You can let an A pillar rock if you want to. You can let like a 5B or something go if you're really feeling it. But now in this spot where you have to worry about the orb. So general approach against orb is that there's a couple of things you can do. You can either choose not to interact with Seth or the orb. You can interact with Seth, or you can interact with the orb. Additionally, you can always bait the orb into missing by moving after the orb has fired. This is a timing that you can just kind of internalize with experience. For me playing VAT, it's really easy because I flip flop or assault when I know the orb is firing, and then the orb will whiff, and then I don't have to worry about it. You can kind of mess around with that timing to... Generally, assault will always make the orb whiff if you get the timing right. Okay, nice confirm. Which means that you have a chance to win the cycle. Oh, he went for good routing. That routing's hard. Oh, block but no punish! You hate to see that. Yeah, don't let him do that. That is very negative. So this first game looks pretty solid. See what this next one brings. So this is more so what I'm expecting, is for Seth to back off, set an orb, and then start playing the game. And now this is a spot where you'll have to kind of start to get used to what Seth can do in certain situations. My general advice to anyone playing against Seth is do not chase Seth immediately. You can chase Seth after he expends 1 or 2 air actions. Because when Seth goes in the air, he has 1 action that moves him back, which is his air backdash. He has 1 action that moves him forward, which is either his air assault or his air DP. He has orb, he has dive. He has orb, and he has dive or fast fall. Now, additionally, after air backdash, Seth has access to all of his normals, so that's where you get things like falling JB, J2C as well, the really shallow dive kick. And if Seth does the slow DP in the air, the B version, then he doesn't need to backdash to gain access to normals afterwards. So these are just kind of things to keep in mind when you're tracking Seth in neutral. Well, that was actually kind of crazy. So I think if Seth is pressuring you with consistent lows like this, like TKEX Fireball might be something you can think about. I'm not sure. I know Arya really likes using EX Fireball in those kind of spots. Maybe not those kind of spots exactly, but there's something where EX Fireball is useful. Okay, how did you get hit here? Oh, you just did B follow-up, no cancel. Yeah, that might do it. Okay, use your CS before you lose it. Yeah, 5A from Seth, so you got to think about what you're going to RPS with. If you jumped and then assaulted, then you could have got that orb to whiff. But you should still... Oh no, actually, I think you're still just alive. So you're going to win this cycle as long as... Oh, you actually were about to lose it, but you're good. Yeah, B-Pillar CS, see, you know what's up. B-Pillar CS is so good. I don't know why every phone on doesn't just B-Pillar CS all the time. Okay, these neutral interactions are kind of strange to me. This definitely is looking like someone's secondary Seth. Okay, so one thing that I'm surprised kind of hasn't happened here, and maybe it's just because it's not a good against phone on 5A, is Seth 9JA is like really good in neutral CS situations, or in any kind of spot where you want to take space and you think that maybe they're gonna check, if you want to check a dash or something like that. So that's something to maybe think about practicing some situations against, but Salty hasn't really done it, so you don't need to worry about it. Yeah, that move is very good at exactly that spot. So I love that you're already doing that. Oh, you just missed your meaty, and okay, so sometimes things just don't kind of work out. You tried to up X shield, but you were grid broken, so you couldn't shield. Okay, I kind of disagree with spending the meter there, but it's fine. Waking up with 6 FF there is, like, extremely random to me. Seth has no meter, so you can be a lot greedier with your meaties in these positions. Like, meeting with 6 FF in these kind of spots is, like, specifically, one, because it's good at setting up the situation, but you bleed grid for it. So you bleed grid in order to win almost every metered reversal situation. And Seth doesn't have meter here, so you can do a greedier meaty. Like, even here. That CS didn't really do anything for them, but you just have to try to get the cycle back. Give it up again, and now this is where... Ooh, ST5B? Maybe smokes you there. Okay, so you're thinking about the 6-6C round start. Which, honestly, I don't think you need to think about as much. Like, it's kind of bad. Again, so you can't 171 AD to get up back shield, or you can't up back shield OS if you're grid broken. You just jump and you look silly. So your decision making needs to coincide with the actions that you're able to make. Bit of a scramble. Well, that was almost a clean confirm. Yeah, just wait, bait the green shield. I love that. I love that. Yeah, like you're playing this matchup so far has been solid. Like, Salty is clearly someone who plays another character who is learning to play Seth. Like, they have some of the stuff, but there's some things that, you know, they're clearly missing. That's how you know that they're actually a Seth player, is when you do dash F3C like that. That is a I play Seth thing. That's a decision that everyone who plays Seth has thought that is a good idea. And sometimes it is. Well, I like the idea of trying to win the cycle there. Again, I'm surprised that they haven't shown 9JA in these kind of spots. Like, yes, it's 6-frame 5A versus 5-frame 5A, but it's not like Phonon doesn't have a 5-frame normal. I think you can falling JA in some of these spots after your air shield. They're gonna fix their routing? No, they're just gonna leave you in the middle of the screen again. Yeah, so this is the thing that checks people doing nothing against Blink Pressure. Is that in this spot, you got a delay jump. Because Seth, that's the only thing that Seth can do that will leave him in the same spot for that period of time, is doing unblockable dive. And there wasn't really an orb behind it either, so... Oh, nice. Okay. So both of these hits, you got because you blew up an OS. I think they might have just been mashing after their OS got blown up the first time, but those are both you killing OS timings. Salty, if you're watching this, you gotta throw more. Seth's strike throw is pretty good. Doing dash up 2A is fun. There's a lot more. Okay, I like the VO there. What are you so scared of? Tell me what you're so scared of in this spot. There's 50 seconds left. You've got a huge life lead. You have meter. I really don't know what you're standing up for there. Okay, this is delay tech VO. You VO'd too early. And they did the you know what's going on. Sorry, let me was this delay tech VO? It was delay tech VO. Okay, nice. So you know how to deal with that, and they layer 2'd you. So that's okay. Scramble out. You don't really have an option other than delay tech VO there because you don't have another reversal. Actually, is that true? You can maybe AD. You could maybe quick rise ADP here. And then Seth has to do the different setup that maybe loses to quick rise BDP. There's something you can lab against that spot. But you did the layer 1 thing and they did the anti-layer 1 thing. And sometimes you just fumble a bag. Seth is a very fumbleable character. That's kind of why I don't really like the unblockables that much. I like using Rising JA to kill the orb there. Again, like what are you so worried about? You were in a great spot here. You were blocking, you got a big shield, you're gonna win the cycle again. You can afford to be a lot more patient on defense. Oh, is this me or is this the SVOD? Who knows? Yeah, some of your like decisions on defense and trying to take your turn back in spots where they're giving you a lot of space seem a little bit questionable to me. I think you can afford to play a little bit slower. Yeah, you're fine here. Because like none of the pressure that they've shown has really been that threatening to you. You're just kind of choosing to die in a lot of these spots. And generally choosing to die is not beneficial. So like let's think about how. So there a lot of people are okay at thinking about win conditions, but they're not as good as thinking about lose conditions. So let's think about this spot for a minute. There's 17 seconds left on the clock. You have the life lead. You have 200 meter, are looking poised to win the cycle, and Seth has 100 meter. How do you lose this? Because you can block blink pressure. That's fine. That's no big deal. If you get thrown, then you probably lose the life lead. So you have to kind of think about throw, but there's still 17 seconds left. So you can play conservatively for the cycle here. Seth does have a command throw. He only has access to EX right now because he doesn't have chain shift. And that's a super flash, and you can always jump on Seth's super flash because EXDP is air blockable. So there's really not a lot that you need to be scared about here. And you OS immediately into something that involves you standing, and you lose. You were in a great spot to win this game, and then you kind of just chose to lose because you weren't willing to block. OSing is strong, but OSing is strong when you use it with a purpose. And if the purpose is getting you killed, that's not ideal. Yeah, I like you showing a couple of early shields there, trying to get the cycle back. Oh wow, you actually almost have time to whiff a 5B there. Okay, dash forward. No, Salty, you could have actually just won the game here, I think. Maybe not. That might have been a little bit of a big ask. You are really antsy on defense. They have not really thrown you at all. Okay, so now I have to be worried about Seth. Yeah, that J2B seemed kind of overcommittal. It doesn't really get you out of a lot either. Okay, so let's think about decision making again. Okay, so neutral tucking here is good. This is a contestable cycle, so back tucking here would have been really bad. They're baiting out a reaction from you. Because if you get one shield, you win that cycle. So they're doing things to bait you into pressing D, and you're not pressing D. And then you do this jump back OS after you've already lost the cycle. So, like, best case scenario is you either VO or shield this assault. Is, I think, best case scenario for you here. Because then you instantly win the cycle, you're in an advantageous position, and you're back in the game. You don't super die for it, but this could have been a worse position for you. Which then means that you have to sack a bunch of your damage to Vorpal Strip. Which means that you're going to lose this next cycle. Like, I'm amazed that Salty is not just, like, TRM'd you 6 times here. Because you've always OS'd at the same point. I'm just gonna close whatever's making my YouTube video not run smoothly. You've always OS'd at the same timing. Like, very consistently. And you haven't died for it, but you definitely should be. You should have taken a lot more damage here, but it's fine. Yeah, it was a little bit too late for you to contest that cycle. Yeah, I feel like there's really not that much to say about that round. Okay, you have cycle here. Yeah, you're just very antsy on defense. Like, I don't want to make it as simple as just block more, but you do kind of need to block a little more. You're playing like you're not comfortable blocking. And this is a game where it's very important to be comfortable blocking. That doesn't mean you need to always be blocking, but you at least need to feel comfortable blocking. And maybe it's because you don't have a lot of experience in this matchup or what, but like, sets like this are for the purpose of learning. They're not for the purpose of winning. The only games that you will ever play for the purpose of winning are tournament matches and money matches. Or if you feel personally as if you really need to win this match. Everything else is for the purpose of learning. And even some of those are for the purpose of learning, so I don't really know where I was going with that, but you know. If you delay tech here, you can win the cycle because they can't win the cycle while you're on the ground. Yeah, dash block is really good if they haven't shown. Because the thing that kills phone on dash block with blink pressure is if they blink to the other side and your dash block turns into backdash and you get smoked by fastball kick. They've not shown fastball kick and pressure, so you're pretty free to try to dash block, and if you get backdash, you're probably fine in a lot of spots. I think dive can still sometimes clip, but it's not that big of a deal. Now, when they start showing things like that, that's when you have to start going to other layers of counterplay against blink pressure. Or, you know, committing to a jump button or something like that. Like, the general theory is that, like, you don't need to do very much. Are you in this game currently? Okay, you are back. Drop for cycle? I like that. I think you could have dropped maybe a little bit earlier to make it a little less spooky, but I like that you dropped for cycle. That was ambitious. Winning this cycle back is ambitious. But you set yourself up in a good spot to whiff punish that. Yes, this is where now you have to consider another layer. Like, for example, just smashing B-Pillar. Especially when you have meter, smashing B-Pillar is awesome. Oh, you forgot about the orb. It's okay, one day you'll become an adult and unlock object permanence. Could have blocked. So I think the main thing is that you're at the point right now where you need to commit to doing something. Right now, you're committing to doing nothing. You're kind of holding back. You're walking around. You're thinking too much about, okay, how do I not get hit by the dive cross up? And when you get more experience against this, you know, set up the dummy to do some blink pressure where they do same side dive, where they do cross up dive, where they do fastball kick and stuff. It's not that difficult to input. Then you can get out of this state, and then you can start thinking about, okay, when am I going to show dash? When am I going to show jump back button? When am I going to show neutral jump button? You know, things like that. When am I going to show pillar? And then eventually the end game, if you believe the JP metagame to be the end game, is that you just block all of it because there's really not that much threat. Okay, already, there we go. You're recognizing and figuring things out. If you're gonna do this, I feel like you do the fireball and then you do B-Pillar CS. That doesn't work. Cycle? Okay, I like the jump to not have to deal with the orb. 7 seconds left. It's pretty hard. It's pretty Jover for you. Yeah, you're just kind of getting outstrike thrown here. Okay, good reaction. That's what that situation's for. I was gonna say I would like to see you at least show the overhead, and you do. So I like that. Oh, there's a B pillar. We gotta hit confirm those now. Huge reward. Oh, that's unfortunate. So it's been a pretty expensive offensive sequence for you so far. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but just kind of something to keep in mind if how you're to like reflect on how you're using your resources. Yeah, it was pretty hard for you to do anything with that little time left. It's like this is a great example of a spot where the decision to commit to chasing Seth was good, but you kind of overcommitted in terms of space. If you did the same thing but with a neutral jump instead of a forward jump, it would have been a lot safer for you in general. Because when you're thinking about contesting Seth in the air, you don't need to only think about what if it works. You also need to think about it, well, what if it doesn't? And you want to be in a spot where if it doesn't work, you're not just going to die. All right, you've gone high the last 3 times. Maybe 4 times even. So just kind of be cognizant of that. I literally have no idea why the fuck you're waking up with 6FF. Like, what are you looking to accomplish with that forward jump? You need to make something happen. You don't have a life lead. You need to make something happen. Yeah, your decision making in that spot needs to be making something happen when you don't have the life lead and you're running out of time like that. Delay tech is a good option. Consider it if things get scrambly. Gives you time to think. Sometimes it's worth it to take the red beat if it happens. So the thing that they're missing on the offense that could be blowing up a lot of your jumps here is fastball kick, especially when they have Vorpal. Its function on offense is to kill people for jumping. Because it is air unblockable and tracks. Yeah, again, one day you'll become a full-grown adult and unlock object permanence. Object permanence. You jumped thinking about the orb, which meant that you get killed for jumping. Think about the cycle. Okay, nice. Okay, you have cycle here. You're already plus. Why are you CSing? Oh, you missed your dash. That's unfortunate. Okay, 20 seconds left. Yeah, unfortunate. The idea was good, but FFEX Orb is funny. So yeah, I think that should give you a couple of things to work on. But yeah, hope this helps.